Good evening, everyone. I hope you are all doing very well. It's good to hear from you. Paul, my afternoon was fantastic, thank you. I had a nice lunch at Rocker. It was a lunch slash business meeting, I guess. That would be how you describe it. Did a 5K before that. Trained at the gym. Been trading all day. It's been a good day, thank you. How are you? Good to hear from you. Osama, good evening. Luca, Paul, Mr. Ethos. Glad to hear from you guys. Hope you are all having a good day. The oil re-entry was earlier. If you were part of the London session analysis, the re-entry was already identified at $75. At this stage, you might want to wait for a bit more of a pullback. But oil is just continuing to climb here. The reason why the profit has fallen is the reduction in silver. Silver has come back down slightly, is now just under $82. The oil positions are continuing to trend in our favor. I mean, just absolutely fantastic entries here, I have to say. Nice run across Dartmoor. Oh, that's cool. I'm jealous. If I still had access to my vehicles, I would definitely drive more to places like that and do stuff like that. But I relinquished access to my vehicles involuntarily. Well, kind of voluntarily, but it was a mistake in hindsight. Maybe I'll get a motorbike though. I would be interested in a motorbike. Right, so the main focuses of this evening's stream, we are wrapping up for today's trading session, but I thought I would jump on and look at our existing trades. As we've just been discussing, oil is still trending very powerfully in our favor. I've produced a couple of videos now regarding the $65 entry, and I've also got a $70 entry as well. But we've been tracking and following this for quite some time now, and yeah, we've peaked today at $82 a barrel. So that triple-digit target isn't really that far off. It seems more and more realistic as time passes. Armin, good evening. Hope you're well. How are you? I mean, you're in Dubai, right? So, how is the situation there? Has like day-to-day life changed for you at all? Is it relatively similar? This was the confirmation that we were looking for on the NAS, by the way, for the longs. However, the markets are going to close. So, taking the entry right now, unwise. Oil trade was beautiful. Yep. It's just continued today. Another, I guess it would have been about 5-6%. What's going on with shipping? Oh, interesting. Who's this? What flag is that? Aruba. Interesting. So, an Aruban flagged oil tanker. This was received 7 hours and 45 minutes ago, though. That's kind of interesting. Has that one been attacked, I wonder? Because I think they update typically more frequently than that. This guy just made it through as well. Cook Islands. Asphalt bitumen tanker. I didn't realize, but a significant portion of the world's supply of aluminium comes out of the Strait of Hormuz as well. We learned that earlier today. But yeah, this critical oil transportation lane is still empty. The vessels aren't making the journey through. My day-to-day life is normal as before. Well, I'm glad to hear it. The situation in the Middle East seems to continue to escalate. We'll have a full report tomorrow when we do the daily brief. But the US situation regarding their ammunition is very dire. From what I understand, before this conflict even launched, they didn't have the ammunition to sustain a particularly meaningful war, whereas the Iranians have been preparing for this arguably for the last 47 years. So the assumption from the Trump administration was that a decapitation strike on the leadership would lead to the rest of the establishment crumbling down like a house of cards. However, what they fail to realize is they've been preparing for this event. Iran is an ancient civilization and culture, and they have built in a system of independence within the leadership to the point where these independent factions are able to operate, which is why you're seeing a sustained retaliation, because it's not as simple as just killing the Ayatollah and then expecting the rest of the regime to crumble. They've been preparing for exactly this event. So the Americans are in a pretty desperate situation regarding their ammunition. They will have to begin cannibalizing their stockpiles in Indo-PACOM, Indo-Pacific, the Asian frontier, the people who deal with like China, really. They'll have to start depleting those stocks, and then that becomes a real issue. So the Americans just don't have the ammunition for this. All the Iranians need to do is survive, and they know that, and they're causing enormous economic damage. There have been multiple American bases in the region hit. From what I understand, the U.S. Fifth Fleet naval headquarters has been completely destroyed. These are very expensive bases and weapon stockpiles. I think 4 F-15E, F-16E. There have been 4 fighter jets shot down. The most recent one was shot down over Iran, and the military had to launch a search and rescue mission to retrieve the pilots. But those jets aren't cheap either. So these American bases that have been destroyed in the region, the consensus is that those Arab states aren't going to invite the Americans back. And the Americans aren't even in a position to be able to afford to rebuild their international military presence. So the aim of the Iranians here, or by the end of this, there will be no American military footprint in the Middle East anymore. They're also targeting diplomatic structure. So various embassies are being hit. The entire American footprint is being wiped off in the Middle East right now. Who is this? Oh my god. They must have just refueled some kind of strike mission there from Tel Aviv, a Boeing Stratotanker, military or government. Just waiting for the flights to resume. Then we'll be going to Bali for a month or so. Well, I hope they. It seems like they're resuming a little bit. Some air traffic in the region. More activity than I've seen over the last few days anyway. I'm kind of surprised. Something's going on. You have these big Stratotankers flying around. There you have one just off the coast of Iran. Interesting. Bahrain has one of the biggest aluminium processing works in the world, I believe, or it did when I lived there. Yeah, that's a underrated point. We talk about oil so much, but it sounds like there's a lot of these other important resource choke points, or yeah. Well, very interesting stuff. Note on Middle East markets, the promise of prediction markets is to harness the wisdom of the crowd to create accurate, unbiased forecasts for the most important events to society. That ability is particularly invaluable in gut-wrenching times like today. After discussing with those directly affected by the attacks who had dozens of questions, we realized that prediction markets could give them the answers they needed in ways TV news and X could not. Interesting. I don't even know exactly what that means. I don't think the Iranian regime is falling anytime soon, personally. From what I understand, the CIA are orchestrating Kurdish troops to invade Iran as well. This is seriously upsetting the Turkish, whom will be Israel's next target after Iran. Wow, the fear and greed index has recovered quite significantly. That's not good. I closed my oil trade at 79 for a small loss, then ripped to 82 a barrel. That's a shame, man. That's a shame. I think this may last for a few more weeks. Yeah, I mean, I hope it only lasts I hope it ends as soon as possible, of course, but if it's only a matter of weeks, that would seem like a good outcome comparing to what I'm hearing. From what I'm hearing, this isn't just something that will be started and finished. The knock-on effects of this are too I mean, this is really World War III, in my opinion. The Russians and the Chinese are involved with the Iranians, and obviously the Americans and the Israelis, and lots of European nations are now talking about getting involved. Allegedly, there's been false flag attacks to try and drag NATO countries into the war as well. Freddie, how's it going? Good evening. Thoughts on gold? We're looking for longs around 5,000 again. It's strange to see this selling off today, but I still think that the fundamentals haven't changed for this trade. Gold at 5,000 is still a great position any day of the week, long term. I'm very well, thank you. Just checking in before the markets close. Yeah, it's been a successful week. You bought yourself a laptop, slowly getting back into the trading routine. Yeah, I mean, I think, if you're going to be taking this seriously, you do need to have an optimized workspace, and doing everything exclusively from the phone, I just don't think it's ideal. It's okay as as like a temporary situation if you're on the move, but you need to have one locked in setup from where you trade, either a dedicated area, a dedicated setup, a dedicated device. I think something to differentiate so that mentally it aligns your focus. Like for me, I've got a proper like 3 monitor. This is like where I sit down to trade. So mentally, I know that it's actually quite distracting from doing anything else, because this is where I just like to trade, and otherwise I don't really like to be here, to be honest. I wonder, where's that guy now who was doubting your strat when you were in drawdown on NAS? Yeah, I mean, it was interesting because I know that person has been a part of the community for a couple of years, so I was kind of surprised. But at the same time, I mean, I don't blame him. My approach can be a bit unconventional sometimes, but I'm talking about what I'm going to do beforehand, and then it happens, and then I execute on it, and then we can all see the results. It's not like there's no, like this is real time. There's no hidden agenda here. I'm just showing what I'm doing and what I think. It's it's like I get criticized for the result of the trade somehow when I win. Yet it's not my it's not because of me that my trade was successful necessarily. It's just that's how the market moved. I've got no personal. I don't affect it like that, but yet, yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. What do you think about the coming NFP? The dollar index getting stronger. I mean, okay. it's a good question because the previous NFP we had, I believe, after the government shutdown, the one that came in at twice the forecast, I don't even necessarily, I'm not convinced by those numbers even in the first place. So this one, I don't imagine the jobs situation is going to improve. I mean, all we're hearing about is job cuts, particularly in software. Well, like I guess what you'd say the white collar, like software industries, and I'm hearing and reading a lot about that at the moment. So I don't see how the jobs is necessarily going to improve. The US economy is in danger. Good evening, Seth. Hope you're well. I agree, hence why I was so quick to get one. Feels more like work opposed to just on my phone. Yeah, definitely. Make sure you're hooked up to just any tools that optimize your trading. So what I mean by that is something like your trading view is set up to the desktop, because now you've gone from phone to desktop. Maybe the AI platform of your choice. There's a useful tool actually if you're interested. If you don't already speak to your AI, you can dictate very easily, very efficiently with this tool, a Whisper. I have had fantastic results with this app or with this platform. And this is the kind of thing that you install, you put on your laptop or on your desktop to really optimize your experience. So dictating your thoughts and dreams and aspirations to AI with this. Make sure your trading views set up completely. I would recommend Claude over any other AI model. What else? I guess that's really. Oh yeah, and make sure your internet connection is good. Ideally, a LAN cable. Ideally, wired connection. I've been battling with thoughts about not waiting for fib to not catch the trade into the fib. I'm sorry, Seth. I'm not sure if I entirely understand that. I've been battling with thoughts about not waiting for fib to not catch the trade into the fib. Do you mind restructuring that sentence, please? I set my trading view up in MetaTrader ages ago when I was back at home. I remember Claude that you mentioned that evening. Yes, Claude. I would say the subscription is absolutely worth it. I've just had an amazing experience with it. I'll be completely honest. I've now got the max subscription, just the top one. I think it starts at like £90, and then there's a higher tier than that, but I've got the £90 one. That's how much I've been enjoying it, and I was an avid user of ChatGPT beforehand, and then just a brief experience with Claude, and I switched immediately. And especially with the drama regarding OpenAI now and the American military, you should definitely be using, just morally, I don't see how you could get involved with Sam Altman anymore. What's the difference between Claude and Flow AI? So that one I showed you before, Whisper, this is just voice dictation. So You hold the button down and you speak, and then it like translates it into text in the text box. But the reason that I suggested it is just the combination of this. So you're essentially speaking to Claude. So rather than typing your AI inputs, you just hold the button down and speak, and it allows for more nuanced articulation as opposed to just typing the prompts. I've been battling thoughts of taking a trade into the fib, not sticking to the system. Do you think you're like not overstimulated, but in like too deep in the trading cycle, if you know what I mean? There can be like moments where you need to almost pull your head out and realize, or like pull your head up and realize that you've been head first into trading for like maybe weeks or even months at a time. Sounds like you just need a bit of a reset. You know, some non-screen time, or some time in nature. If it's any kind of like mental issue, or not issue, but yeah, like mental hurdle, then I always find like the basics: sunlight, exercise, nature, things like that. Because ultimately, yeah, it's just a psychological thing. There's no there's no solution really to thoughts. The best thing you can do is make sure that you have a clear mind, and I think like doing that stuff helps. Thank you, Bella. Good night. It's a powerful AI combo. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fantastic. And then you can so with this, what you can do is go on a website like Bolt, and then this is like powerful for building websites, or just coding in general, really, but websites in particular. So then you can speak your website into existence, or you can speak your app into existence. So I can show you here, like, okay, well, it wants me to sign up, or sign in even. One sec. Okay, that was unsuccessful, but I'll show you how it works here. Hello. that was causing a I don't know why that happened, to be honest. Hello, this is a test. Hello, this is a test. I don't know why it's making it like fly down like that, but I think you get the gist of it there. So you can dictate your dreams and turn them into reality using AI. It's really cool when you start doing it. I'm not explaining it well, but if you think about it, the spoken word is almost like you're casting a spell, and then with this you can bring those things to life in a way that you couldn't before. You can, I've been designing bunker plans with Claude, for example, like literally visualizing my dreams, if that makes sense. And I think there is something kind of divine, or not divine, but like there is some power in that. Speaking it out loud as opposed to typing it, and then visualizing it in the way that you've described. I think there's something going on there. Do you think gold can drop to 41.20? No. I would be very, very surprised if that happens anytime soon. I think it's more likely to hit 6,000 than 4,000. That might be famous last words, but that's what I think at the moment. Missed your viewpoint on silver. To be honest, not much has really changed. It is the one position that's in slight drawdown now. But it doesn't really change my outlook. I was more focused on the $83 part rather than the specific entry. Even though we've been seeing some sell-off or some selling here, the momentum has been pretty weak. Lots of wicks forming. So I'm not really too concerned. I'm just going to continue to hold. I should stop looking at the charts for the week, otherwise I'd still be wanting to trade. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's got to be like a complete... It's got to be a complete kind of cold turkey almost. You know, you got to detach yourself entirely, I think. Otherwise you will just continue to trade and give back that profit. Maybe not will, but it's very... it's a lot easier for that to happen. Yeah. Yep. Right. Well, we will do a scan through the rest of the markets here. I do think that this is the entry candle for the NAS 100. However, the market's about to close. So I'm not interested in taking that. To be honest, I'm personally not interested in entering any more trades for a while. It's been a roller coaster. But this was the long setup that we were looking for earlier today. So just to make a note of that, tomorrow is Friday and NFP. Again, not really ideal entry conditions. But this can essentially just be a long prediction for NFP tomorrow. Ahmed, I'm well, thank you. How are you? Good to hear from you. GBP, JPY still consolidating around the support level. Guys, Forex pairs are just completely, I think, untradeable at the moment, really. Waiting for a deeper retracement on USD CHF, which has that interesting safe haven component with the Swiss franc. But the Swiss franc have mentioned intervening because their currency is too valuable. So this would make USD CHF go upwards as the value of the dollar increases relative to the franc. So it does rationalize, it does justify this long idea. But yeah, the rest of the markets, if it's not consolidating, then it's just garbage price action. Other than good old commodities, which oil re-entries coming up, possibly around, what is this, $78 here, if the hourly forms a higher low. However, the real G's were aware of this at $65 and $70. That may go down as one of the most precise of my entries of all time. Yeah, the oil trade. I'm not even trying to be humble about it. It was perfect. There's no two ways about it. I mean, Thursday, we were positioned on Thursday, not even Friday. Thursday, pre New York, we were positioned right at practically zero drawdown. Entry was taken on this 4-hour hammer candle. I mean, it does not. It just does not get better than that. Hammer candle entry, zero drawdown, and then an enormous gap, like a gap that only comes from world-changing events. I mean, I wish that it didn't come from conflict, but that's really that's ultimately what's happened here. Were you looking for a while before? As soon as conflict started, you went to check? No, this is what I'm saying, Freddie. We were positioned beforehand. The conflict broke out on the weekend. I bought oil on Thursday, so we were watching before. This is where the monitoring the situation joke comes from. But I'm really out here monitoring the situation and making money off of it. That's what Capital and Conflict is about. I'm telling you, it's an underrated trade. This is like GameStop. We were positioned before the significant catalyst due to good information sources, really good analysis. Yeah, there was the re-entry Friday as well. That's a good point. No, just like perfect top to bottom, really. We even gave additional supports at 75. That was yesterday, and I'm pretty sure even this morning we were talking about this support here again. So you can just see the fibs. I'm just like tracking it with fibs here. That's the best part. From this low up to this high, that forms the next support floor, and then from this low up to this high, that forms the next support floor. So this has been trackable like via fibs for quite a few legs of this move. I mean, even this initial entry was just a larger fib. See? This one here. When you look at it like that, it was inevitable. I mean, when are you not taking that long? When you tell me, I would say 10 times out of 10 you're taking that long, or at least 9 times out of 10. You have a new high that's formed. You have a liquidity sweep under the 0.618. You could say imbalances being filled here, retesting previous structure, and strong rejection. I mean, I don't know. To me, that's just the clearest long entry ever. And yet, it was perfect. No, that's all right, Freddie. I wasn't... Sorry, I didn't mean it like that. I was just saying... it was Thursday. We were prepared. Why do you guys think I'm checking marine traffic? we need to see. This is, so typically these red tankers would be flowing through here. The reason that they aren't is because either the insurance companies won't give them the policies to go through, the policies are too expensive, or the shipping company just flat out refuses to go, or the Iranians have said that they'll destroy it. So there's a lot of different things going on that mean that the flow of tankers is not going through this critical choke point here. And one of the key indicators for the actual war itself was the airspace clearing over the region just prior to the significant strikes. Because, I was up basically all of Friday and Saturday watching this. But yeah, it's been a crazy week. I hope you guys have enjoyed the streams. The market's about to close now, so I think I will be wrapping up the stream there. I will be continuing to... that's quite a big wick on oil. I'll be continuing to hold silver and oil as it stands. I will be back tomorrow morning for the London Daily Brief, the Elysium Daily Brief during the London session. That's held within the Discord, which I've put a link pinned in the chat if you would like to join. So that's when the next update will be. And I'm pretty busy tomorrow, so in terms of streams, I'll see if I can jump on probably around New York session, but I have something in the morning as well as something in the evening. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone. I wish you all a great evening. Sleep well, and I will see you all tomorrow.